Good to see you.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
So what's the biggest difference between summer here and summer where you were before? And how did your game grow a lot more here because maybe there was more involvement, more stuff you guys were doing?
Yeah, so there's more like intentional, like detailed stuff that we do here with like certain play calls and knowing the detailed technique, alignments, and just being here, you got to know the rules, alignments, and overall know how to make a play. And I think the overall difference is just it's more pressure here with every rep counts. So I think that would be the main difference, and just getting aligned and knowing what you have to do.
When you're in player-led practices in May and June, July, and you're covering somebody and Drake's throwing, how does that make you better where you have to cover somebody when you know the ball's going to be placed almost perfectly every time instead of an errant pass, what you can actually get to, so you have to defend the guy and make sure he doesn't get open even more?
Well, every play you should play as if it's going to be perfect, because you never know. Well, it doesn't matter who's throwing the ball, you should want to play it perfect. So,
but does it help knowing that Drake's always going to place it where it needs to be?
He's always going to place it in that window, that perfect spot. So yeah, being in that right spot is, you have to be spot on with him. And you have to kind of just make a play whenever it comes your way.
We were talking with some other players about how, let's say they're covering someone Drake's throwing, he might pull that defensive player aside and just talk about, here's what I was doing on that. Has he had any conversations with you along those lines?
Who was asking Drake? Yes, he's asked me before. He probably didn't notice what we was running from the jump. He kind of asked what we was running on that play. So he kind of just want to pick our brains to see what we see. And we vice versa. I do that with him too. I pull him aside and ask him, hey, what's your read on here? Who are you looking at? Like pre-snap reads.
How does that help you elevate your game?
Kind of just disguising, knowing how to make it look like another disguise and play a whole nother coverage depending on the brothers. So that kind of, it throw like a curveball towards any quarterback that may be seeing like a different coverage and actually playing a totally different coverage. So we just throw a curveball.
Elijah, I remember when we talked to you in the spring and you said before the first spring practice you had some butterflies, kind of like, what is this going to be like? And then you went and covered the first drill. You're like, okay, I'm good. I belong on this level. Like, was there any of that as you started this camp? Did the nerves come back, or do you feel like you had already sort of settled in as part of this team by this point?
I kind of feel like I settled in a little bit more. I mean, it's always kind of nerve-wracking going into camp. I wouldn't say like nervous, like scared, nervous. It's just like excited, ready. I'm real antsy, ready to get started. So I felt real settled in going into this camp.
Was there at any point like a welcome to Carolina moment where you realized, this is different?
Probably right when I stepped on campus, I was like, okay, yeah, this is way different than ETSU.
What exactly was it?
Just the atmosphere here is way different. The team, the way they handle themselves, they carry themselves. It's way different.
How's your adjustment to Chapel Hill been?
It's been well. They treated me well. Kind of just been a sponge, listening, taking it all in, and just living the life.
Have you looked at the schedule a lot, thinking about all the different programs you're going to face and some of the places you're going to play this year, some of the stages that you're going to be on, and think, wow, this is pretty cool stuff?
Okay, so yeah, every day I take a look at it, just to remind me of what's coming up and what I need to prepare for.
Is there something else psychological about it where it reminds you kind of how far you've come as a football player, where you're now in a position to play prime time on ABC in the opener with game day there and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Just coming from ETSU, shouts out to ETSU. I got to do that. But just coming where I came from, coming from ESPN Plus, people have to buy that, and now they don't have to buy it. It's going to be broadcast on game day. I never played in front of game day, so it's the first time.
Going off of that, I was going to say, what was the reaction when the news came that okay, game day is going to be there? Like, what was your reaction?
And prime time on ABC.
Right. I mean, it's exciting, yeah, but I kind of don't let that get the best of me. I just know it's another game. It's another opportunity, another game. I just got to go do me, and that's all I can do.
Going off of that, what kind of mindset or mentality do you bring from that level when you get these opportunities now?
Make the best of it and do me, and don't let this pressure get to me, honestly. Keep my head level, keep my head on straight, and always remember where I came from.
Elijah, of course, several different, new faces on the secondary, you being one of them. But as you're kind of in that room and, on the field with them, what are some things that you feel that you guys as a unit do well?
I think we cover well. This spring we have a couple missed big plays. I think that we should have took advantage of when they came. And as a DB, they don't come a lot, so you better get them as they come. But I think we cover really well. We getting our hands on the ball a lot. So as long as we just keep covering well, we just got to make big plays.
For sure. And I want to ask you specifically about Marcus Allen, mostly playing opposite side of you. When you watch him play, what are some things that stands out, and what are some things that you feel like, maybe he specifically does well as well?
His speed and his cover skills, catching up, staying on top of guys. He's long, lanky, he can run with anybody. I put that up with anybody. He's very long and lanky. Go cover somebody.
I'm sorry. I've heard Tayon Holloway's name a lot the last couple of weeks. What can you tell us about him? He didn't play at all last year, and a lot of fans aren't really familiar with him. So what have you seen from him?
He's grown. He's grew a lot since the spring. He's getting his technique down. He's fast as well. He can cover. Good ball skills. I think his main is his technique and his cover skills. That would separate him.
Sorry about that. What is a good example, maybe that you've seen of Marcus's length? Because this seems like that just is what sticks out. It sounds like the wingspan is just.
If you just look at him before he press, and when he throws a jab or something, you can just see how far he is from the receiver. That'll be just an example of how long he is. Like me, I got a little short arm. I gotta
get a little tighter, right?
Yeah.
What stood out about the conversations the defense as a whole has had with Coach Huzzie? What's he really trying to hammer home with y'all throughout the preseason?
Do everything with a purpose, with an emergency. Locked in, for sure locked in. Gotta have 100% focus. And just make the big plays when they come. Like I said, we had a lot of, we've been missing a whole bunch of advantages coming our way. So just making the big plays and being in the right spot.
Do you get a sense, Elijah, you weren't on this team, but the narrative around UNC last year was that the defense was the weak link. Drake and the offense putting up all these points, and the defense was the weak link. Do you get a sense from your teammates on defense that they have a point to prove this year, that they're out to show that they're not who maybe they were last year?
Absolutely. I think every single person has a point to prove this year, and just focusing in on everybody's doing their main parts. It's like a puzzle. Everybody has a piece. You just gotta do your piece, make sure your piece fits to that puzzle, and defense will be okay.
Tell me about the wristband and the tats here.
It's for Tali, keep swinging, always supporting him and keeping him in our hearts. And the tattoos, just got my mom's name. She told me if I ever got a tattoo, I had to get her name and so I was like, yeah. And then just being versatile, just being able to play multiple positions, but not just football, but in life. Whatever hits you, keep going and keep pushing.
Why Chapel Hill?
Opportunity came my way and took advantage of it. It's a great place, great education, great people here. So thankful.
You said your mom said you had to get palm trees on there?
Yeah, she loves palm trees. So I was like, why not get palm trees and her name?
Do you like palm trees?
Yeah, I like palm trees.
Places that have palm trees?
Because I didn't know. I don't think they have palm trees in Georgia.
No, not at all. I mean, they do, but they're probably the fake ones.
Yeah.
Who are some guys you gotten close with on the team since you've been here?
Nate, Tez. I kind of built a bond with probably a lot of guys on the team, but Nate, Tez, Amari, Tayon, Gio. It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of outgoing guy. I like to bond with everybody.
Who are the roommates or housemates?
I don't have any roommates currently, but during camp, my roommate's Tayon.
Is there anyone you could pick out on the defense that might be underrated, like people might not see coming, that you've seen these last couple of days of camp or this summer that like could surprise some people? Is anybody you could single out?
Probably have to say Tayon. Like y'all said, he got hurt, came back. I think he's gonna stand out for us. Marcus too, and I think Don. We got a couple guys that's probably been slept on.
So Don's back in full force?
Don's back in full force.
So with the roommate situation during camp, do they put a young guy like Tayon with you who's an older guy so he can learn from you? And how is that relationship going with kind of imparting the mental stuff onto him about being a college football player?
Yeah, I think they do that for just kind of like make them. I wouldn't say live how I live, but just not so mentor either, but
Sort of
just
big
kinda,
brother thing?
Yeah, big brother thing. It's just a big brother thing, and we kind of talk about plays and coverages in the hotel room. Just pick each other's brain and how we feel and think about certain things.
And can you tell us some about the bonding that just happens during fall camp off the field?
Just being in the stadium with the
Yeah.
guys and the spare time we have, do like meetings and stuff like that. Just getting to know everybody and talking, just having conversations and just getting to know everyone.
Elijah, we asked you earlier, what it's like practicing against, Drake May on that opposing side, but also the receiving corps. They have several different skill sets over there, kind of a diversity of talent. How much of an asset is that, guarding, receivers that have such different styles like the one over here?
But everybody has their own style, so me, I have to guard them a whole different way. I can't guard everybody the same way. So just having that different versatility through the receiver corps it'll help me out, or us DB room a long way. Just learn how to guard every receiver and different techniques you have to take. Just being able to just have a variety of styles of guard.
Yeah, and what kind of makes someone like, maybe someone like Taze, who's a little bigger, fast, versus guarding someone like Nate? What kind of makes that, different?
Yeah, they both have their different styles. Nate's more like he's more a shifty, quick type of guy, so maybe I have to give him a little bit more room. But Taze, get off the line, blow the top off, so you can't miss at all. So yeah, that's just very different.
Anyone in particular that's given you like a lot of trouble, or that's been difficult?
Just Kemp in all is giving me a little trouble. Yeah. All of them, Ted, we got some good receivers. They all challenging every day. They all challenge us.
All righty. Thanks, Elijah.
Stuff.
Thank
Great
you.
stuff, Elijah.